The autumn wind may be a Raider, but it's not good enough to beat out these guys.
Number 10, Marcus Allen does it all.
Maybe the most complete football player ever.
Number 9, the great Willie Brown.
He's as good as there ever was.
Number 8, Jim Plunkett just won, baby.
That's right, just win, baby.
Number 7, Cliff Branch is armed and dangerous. Number 6, the idol to middle-aged men everywhere.
Exactly.
Everybody loved George Bland.
And now, the number 5 Raider of all time, Tim Brown.
It's picked up, Gannon throws out right.
Tim Brown? Really? Heisman Trophy.
Great receiver. The guy could change things so quickly. Anytime he touched the ball, heart and soul of the Raiders, and one of the greatest receivers in this game.
Tim was a guy who longevity is going to speak volumes for itself. His ability to return kicks early in his career, his run after the catch, and I think he's certainly a guy that empowered what the Raiders were about in terms of a guy who had great speed and could do a lot of different things.
And it is appropriate that the first score for the return of the Oakland Raiders goes to a heart and soul player like Tim Brown.
Tim Brown with career catch number 1,000, all in the silver and black of the Raiders.
Tim Brown has caught more passes for more yards and more touchdowns than anyone in Raider history. But what if he had landed across the San Francisco Bay?
Now, he's very productive for a long period of time. If he had not been injured early in his career, he would have put up close to Jerry Rice numbers. A lot of people thought if you had switched Brown and Rice, that Tim would have done the same thing in San Francisco that Jerry Rice did.
Tim Brown, touchdown, Raiders!
Our number 5 Raider had the stats, but did he have that Raider mentality needed to make our list?
Tim Brown is the anti-Raider because he's way too nice of a guy. He's not wearing spiked shoulder pads with silver face paint. He's not just released from the insane asylum. He's not an accused convict. He's not a draft bust. He's not a scrap heap pickup. He shouldn't even be a Raider. I think he should be a priest.
Shut up, punk.
A very professional person in how he went about his business. And maybe sometimes those guys don't get as much attention, but clearly, from a productivity standpoint, this guy was one of the best ever.
Brown's there. Touchdown Raiders!
One of my
Brown's
favorites.
place in the all-time rankings is secure, but did he just win enough, baby?
He should probably be in the top 10. Tell me what his impact is. He never played on a team that won the Super Bowl. In his career, the Raiders reached the AFC Championship game, where the Super Bowl 3 times.
And they did it, annihilating the Raiders 51-3.
In those 3 years, they played 7 postseason games. In those 7 postseason games, Tim Brown caught as many touchdown passes as Ira Miller did.
And through the hands of Brown, incomplete.
My favorite Raider, number 1 on my list. How many quarterbacks that were mediocre did through Tim Brown in LA? Schrader, Marinovich, Vince Evans. Now think if he had a Montana or a Young thrown to him, he would have shredded Rice's numbers.
The number 4 Raider of all time, Ken the Snake Stabler.
The Stabler,
Ken
Weezy.
Snake Stabler was just the quintessential Raiders quarterback. Party hard. He lived hard. He was a perfect fit for what Al Davis wanted. He could go deep at any point in the game, and yet he could pick you apart underneath as well.
Stabler back. He looks. He throws. Touchdown Raiders! And Stabler was on the money.
Kenny is symbolic of what the Raiders are, the party guy that when he got to the field, it was really about competing and winning.
Stabler rolling to the back. He's going to go. Touchdown Oakland!
Okay, in the huddle today, we got the Snake at quarterback, the kid from Alabama.
Kenny Stabler had more charisma than any player I've ever seen. Magnetism, there's not many that had it more than Snake, and he flaunted it too.
Everybody's metabolism is different. Some people need 8 hours. Some people need 3 hours. I don't really need an awful lot of sleep, and I would read the game plan by the light of the jukebox sometimes. How much sleep do you need to go play 3 hours?
He was the kind of guy that Joe Green would have ripped his helmet off, and Stabler looked at him and said, "That's the best you got."
Hungover, going to the game, hungover, throwing up before the game, and then throwing 3 touchdowns. Yeah, great. Love it.
It's Raider football, boy.
Suddenly, disappointingly, another memorable year of glory ended in a single day of defeat.
Stabler has the personality, but does he have the credentials to be the highest-ranked Raider quarterback on the list?
He's not the best quarterback the Raiders had. Just win, baby, was Al Davis's motto. Well, if you believe in that motto, and Al Davis does, then Jim Plunkett won 2 Super Bowls.
Silver and black football is king of the hill in the National Football League.
I go with the guy that won more Super Bowls.
As many great quarterbacks as Oakland has had, the Darryl LaMonicas and the Plunketts that came after him, Kenny Stabler is the guy you think of as an Oakland Raiders quarterback.
If somebody put a gun to my head and I had 80 yards to go with no timeouts and a minute to play, what quarterback would I pick? I'd pick Ken Stabler.
There he is, fading, looking. He's under the gun.
Oh, the Sea of Hands boy. The Sea of Hands boy. Yes, sir.
Kenny Stabler was the
Passed on that game. Uh-oh, holy
game,
roller. Chargers.
At the end.
Chargers got raped that day. That's for you, Joe.
Kenny was a tough competitor, a guy who was always prepared, a true Raider.
Just willing to make any throw on the field at any time. And also one of the guys that helped make the Raiders the Renegades that they always have been.
Yasha Heifetz-Weber playing a violin with more dexterity than Kenny Stabler is playing the Minnesota Viking defense.
Kenny Stabler was the ultimate Raider because he was a renegade with the flowing hair. He was left-handed on top of that, and then he just won, baby. And that was all Raiders.
Coming up, which Raider used Stickum to attach himself to the number 3 spot?
Now you know.
Everything.
You know.
Trojan. Of course, he had all that.
You already know where we going, baby.